Hi guys, this is Sydney. So in this video today, based on the energies that I have been tapping into the year end of 2023 and up until now in 2024, this new year, I received certain informations, and based on the energies, something that I would like to share in this video is some guidance on how to continuously heal your inner child wounds that may be perhaps related to your mother wound, your father wound. And this is particularly leading me to a specific theme based on the light codes that have been coming down for the collective, um, especially dealing with feelings of insecurities that may be leading into feelings of anxiety, that is also related to feelings of self-worthiness. So all of these themes have been coming up to the surface, and I received the confirmation by the source today that it's been coming up because we need to purge out in order to enter into this new timeline. That is what is coming up for a lot of souls in the collective who have been doing the work, that Source and Gaia need these souls to get into their power within in the year 2024, which I plan to make a separate video because there had been a lot of information that have been coming up as well for the entire theme of 2024 leading, that is surrounding around the idea of power that I'm going to explore more in details. But in this video, because right now the energies are related to a lot of emotional healing, it had been since it's been about a week or 10 days that this energy had been very intense. Okay, so take however resonates for you. Always discern for yourself, because everyone is on a unique journey, as we already know, and we need to train ourselves to honor that. And honoring doesn't require judgment. Honoring doesn't require comparison. Honoring doesn't require us separating what to accept, what not to accept. So we need to get into the state of surrender. And in order to do so, your intuition will guide you always based on the energies that you hold. And everybody holds different karmic signatures, and based on the energy work they've been doing, they're in a different frequencies. And one thing that we need to trust is that energy never lies. It is very transparent. It is very simple. It is the mind, or the egoic mind, or the lower mind, that judges these energies that are coming, that is blocking us to tap into our intuition, because it's going to be like a guard. Like, when you are entering to a new territory, there's guards, right? The guards are checking. Okay, no, you can't. Okay, you pass. So what I'm seeing in my psychic vision is that analogy coming in. So when we don't have these guards, we are able to go through and move freely. But with this, we constantly put a break, saying, I don't like this, I like this, or I don't trust this, I don't believe in this. So all these duality-based thoughts that have been programmed in our subconscious are blocking this flow. So what I want you to do is always tune in, and if this is triggering you, meaning you are finding yourself not agreeing or disagreeing or not trusting, not believing in these words that I'm sharing, or anything that is triggering feelings of negative emotions, so-called, or lower vibration emotions of hatred, dislike, then you may want to perhaps stop watching the video altogether, meaning you want to choose what is best for you. Because Once you trigger that thought and you are unaware and still continue to watch, then you're going to lower your vibration once again, because you're constantly going to be triggered, because the frequency is not in match right now. There's something that you need to realize within on your own. And then when you watch this later, you may have a different perspective. And that may help you to, that may really help you in that moment, because it's like this. When a student wants to learn something, that's when the teacher really appears. And when the student really learns something, that's when the teacher really disappears. That's the Lao Tzu quote that I'm sharing here as an analogy, is that you have to be ready. And only when you are ready, you are going to be receptive. Otherwise, you will suffer in judgment. That pain of dislike is going to create suffering within your energy body, and it's going to lower your vibration, and it's not going to help the collective because we want to hold love and light for each other. So that's why it is okay for you to feel triggers, but just that when you feel them, notice them. And then accept them. Okay, I'm feeling triggered right now. I'm feeling dislike. I'm feeling judgment. I'm feeling this towards something. Okay, and then you can retrieve, okay, gather yourself, align yourself first, and then in divine timing, meaning you will be pulled to watch the video once again later in time, or you may be forgetting about this as you stop watching it altogether, and suddenly you may be like, oh, I remember that video, maybe I want to watch that. That may be the divine timing for you, that you're ready. Okay, so always discern for yourself, because I want to have everyone in a high vibrational state, and we all go through emotional triggers, and emotional triggers really help us. Okay, they're messengers. So I want you to utilize that energies instead of hating it. Okay, at this time, especially because we are dealing with a lot of emotional healing right now, meaning we are dealing with a lot of emotional triggers. So it may be unique for individuals, but you could have experienced some sort of unknown emotions coming up, or you may not know, you may not recognize why you are crying, but suddenly you are crying because you were watching something on TV, or you were listening to something on TV, or you're listening to music, or this little phrase or a little word, or this melody hits you like a lightning bolt. That is what is coming up. It's so powerful. That is so potent that way, because of the light codes that's been coming down. It's like triggering you, and then you immediately are finding yourself crying like a little baby, like crying, like really crying, as if, you parted ways with someone you loved, or you are at someone's funeral that you used to love. Okay, and it's all coming up because we need to die once again, as in symbolic terms. We need to die in order to rise up again. So the energy is in very much support of that right now. And because this is penetrating so deeper into the layers, what I got was a lot of people may feel certain things, or may find themselves crying like this, or having some sort of intense emotions coming up out of nowhere. But they don't know where it's coming from, or they may not know what this is about. And you may not recognize, you may not have awareness of it, but you are feeling it, or it's just purging out. It's how powerful that is. So what I'm receiving is source and the universe, the energies are helping all of us in the collective to cleanse ourselves and what's taking place usually is the healing is not linear, and you may heard of this, and you're exactly experiencing this right now, because last year we talked about a lot of ending of cycles and closing of the cycles, and a lot of the soul work, star seeds, light workers, generational curse breakers. We broke a lot of generational curses and cycles. And we thought, okay, this is boom and done. But healing doesn't work that way, because the karma is very, in a way, tricky, in a way, intense. And what I received from Source today while I was meditating was that the reason why we continuously purge and go through this emotional healing in one way or another that looks different for everyone, even though you may be thinking to yourself, you're at a certain place now, you ascended, or you are enlightened, or you completed that cycle. However, these languages are describing what you went through, still it is valid, but the energies never lie. And in order for us to be on earth right now, we need karma. So what the source was telling me, that nobody can escape this karmic energies or releasing of emotional purging. And up until where the earth or the Gaia is going to be at a certain frequency that we don't need to have karmic energies in order to be on earth. And we are shooting for that. We are ascending to that level, and the frequency is rising every day, even though you may not see it or feel it or sense it. So everyone on earth, or in the planet of earth, Gaia, at this time is going through all this purging in one way or another. Okay, so what we need to understand first is that this journey is not linear, and then you complete it and it's all done, boom, and you don't have to deal with it, which is the ego's idea, because everything is just flowy. But ego wants control, like boom, done, bam, right? And so that is coming up to the surface once again, and we need to look into our narration right now, self-talk. Okay, so because a lot of these energies are going so deep and deep and deeper into the layers, which I mentioned in previous months, like in September, October, November, December, the light codes had been intensifying, it's been stabilized, and it was going deeper and deeper into the layers, which all started from energies. From what I tapped into was the full moon in Aries in September. So the full moon in Aries in September was feeling very intense, because the energy level really jumped up. But then it stabilized, so we don't feel that intensity as much, but it's very much in high rise still. But that jump up was in September from what I tapped into, and that full moon was in Aries. So there was a lot of fiery energy that helped us to burn all these lower frequency energies. Okay, and we needed to balance out a lot of our solar plexus energies, in order to transform the ego that was coming up. Transforming the ego meaning we need ego, but before, when we are a victim, or when we believe ourselves as a victim, ego takes over and it takes control. But once you heal, what's going to happen is you utilize ego. So you partner with your ego that is coming in union within. So the ego will still be there, but it's going to serve you, not to dominate you. Okay, so that is the difference. And that process started in September with the fiery Aries energy, where we had North Node in Aries and the South Node in Libra. So that meant Libra Libra is all about balance, cooperation, but that happens when we are in union within ourselves. So it represents the union within. But on the shadow side, what it could lead into is a lot of pleasing tendencies. So it's relating to the pleasing tendencies in order to feel validated, in order to feel like you are existing worthy. So it's all related to self-worth at the end of the day. And that had been the theme. And with that theme, we were purging out intensely. And then in October, the full moon moved into Taurus, which is very earthy energy, a lot of issues with self-worthiness. And then in November, it moved into full moon in Gemini, which is the air sign, air energies, which is all about the mind, okay, the mentalism. And in December, we had the full moon in Cancer, which is all about feeling, idea of home. So what is the idea of home? You need to review your ideas of family, relationships, right? And you need to learn to nurture yourself and all of these ideas. So what came to me was that we had the fire energy, and then moving into earth energy, and then moving into air energy, and moving into water energies. So we had to go through all these different layers of healing all together in all these 4 elements together that we all embody within. And it was helping us to heal in all these different aspects. Feeling the stability within with earth energy, feeling the fire within, you know, and then feeling that air, and that you do not overthink, overanalyze, but use the mind, right? Master the mind. And then we go into that Cancer energy where you feel safe and stable within. And now we are moving into another cycle, which is the full moon in Leo in January. And then we have the full moon, new moon in Capricorn on the 111 day portal. So the universe really wants us to purge out whatever that is left in your energy field, so that going into the new cycle, meaning 111, 1 represents the new beginning usually, and then 111 is a portal. And so as we enter into that cycle, they want us to embody new energies. So meaning simply letting go of a lot of the energies that we may be holding on to, unaware, subconsciously, unconsciously. So that's why we don't even recognize why we are crying. We don't even recognize why this is triggering us, because it's so deep into the layers, deeper than all the things that we went through, the energies from September, October, November, December. So this is a last close up, what I'm getting. You know, to be on earth, we need to have a little bit of karma. Otherwise, we will leave the body. So something that you may be experiencing, or you may have experienced, was suddenly you feel like eating more, like you want to have more something, more sweet, or like sugary things or carbohydrates. It's because you're healing. You need to process and move through the energies in the sacral. And so that is something that you may have been experiencing altogether. And when you need to do that, you need to do that. So this idea of getting a diet, losing weight, we start to control everything. So we need to surrender and allow these energies to process and move through our bodies as well, to be released. Because the reason why we don't remember is because it's our mind telling us, okay, I'm done with it. I have completed the cycle and I'm completely removed and released. But when these emotions come up, because the energy is still there, you may be denying or resisting because of that idea of the ego, that wanting to complete, wanting to finalize, wanting to have an outcome to move forward. Okay, so because of that control, we may be having some sort of self-talk on a subconscious level that you may not be aware, that I want you to be aware from this point onwards, because I'm sharing this knowledge and information right now, okay? So that you can take a moment to sit alone where you can connect with yourself, okay? And review your thoughts, right? You may be telling yourself, why is this person suddenly telling me this? Or I don't want to have to deal with these family members, and I don't want to spend time, or they don't deserve my time, or it's not worth my energies, right? You could have all this self-talk that is keeping you stuck in separation, meaning stagnancy, meaning holding on to the past. Because when you say that, what it really energetically, what it really means, or how it's vibrating, is dislike and like, and hatred that is rooted from that. Okay, so in one way, you see yourself as better than them, which is another ego aspect of you feeling superior and them feeling inferior, or you wanting to feel that in order to feel like you are in a good place or better place than them, or you are better than others. So something in the spiritual community that we want to be aware of is that just because you reach a certain level of frequency, or you ended certain cycles, or however you resonate, or you know more about the truth about the world, how the world is corrupted, and how the governments are trying to make us sick, and all these things. For example, like conspiracy theories are in the fourth dimensional energies. Okay, so we don't want to get stuck there, because that idea of I know better, and those people, when you separate, you get stuck in the energy of the fourth dimensional energy. You need to rise up to the fifth dimensional and the sixth dimensional. So right now on earth, the energies that are available in frequencies is up to third to the sixth. So the third is very much the physical world, right? It's all about materialism and all that success, the idea that we've been living under in survival. And the fourth dimension is about the spiritual awakening. So that's why a lot of the conspiracy theory energies are still, lingering there. And we want to grow out of it, grow through it, right? And no longer separate. And the fifth dimensional energies and the sixth dimensional energies is about that compassion, that unconditional love, which is all available. And just like that, energy is not straight point or straight way. It's always moving around and moving through based on the frequencies that are matched to that. So you may experience third dimensional energies, and then the next moment, sixth dimensional energies, or fourth dimension to fifth dimension, or fifth dimension to third dimension, based on all this different healing that is taking place right now. So your frequency may have risen up. You're at a certain frequency within your auric field, okay? But then you may still have certain thoughts that may be lingering on a lower frequencies, like fear, like doubt, or dislike, or like, right? But that is still okay, because what's taking place right now is you jumped in your frequency, meaning your energy body is different now, okay? But then we still go through healing. So you jump, and then you're at this level, and then there's also this, because the analogy that is coming, what happens when we are dead? When you look at the medical drama, right? Bing, the line goes straight. So in order for us to stay living, it's constantly going to move up and down, up and down, up and down. Okay. So you jumped, but that doesn't mean you lower your vibration, but there are still some things that you need to work on in that level too. Okay. So we don't need to judge our emotions and what is coming up. Just simply allow ourselves to accept. And when you realize that you were frustrated, you were angry at something still, then allow those feelings to come up by accepting what is. So you may be having certain things directed towards someone or something because you're projecting, right? That person is not treating me right. That person is not hearing me. That person is not seeing me. That is related to the mother or the father wounds. Okay, so on a 3D level, it is leading to direct your mother figure or father figure in this lifetime, but on an energetic level, your divine masculine and your divine feminine energies within, that we need healing altogether. That is all for the ascension of the earth to do our job, our soul mission that we came here to do, to build the age of Aquarius, the new golden age. Okay, so this is the preparation time once again. So when you are doing that, you want to look at your self-talk, review it. That's why we need meditation. And it doesn't have to be long. It could be just 5 minutes a day. Or you could be taking your dog out on a walk and you could still meditate. It's just that you need to have your time alone with yourself where you can start to reconnect without any distractions from the outside or the demands from other people or society or your job or whatever, so that you could completely listen to yourself. Okay, so you could do this as you're cooking in a quiet time alone, exercising where you can be alone, or taking a walk in nature alone. You may be just watching something or listening to something, and you may be zoomed in and get into that state of where you connect with yourself. So the ways can look and be very different for everyone. But the key here is not this idea of meditation where we sit on an Indian triangle pose and then do it doesn't always have to look that way. Okay. And you don't need to force yourself to do anything because it's going to create resistance, meaning you want to control that experience. But the whole point of meditation is mediating, coming to the union, centering yourself. So you want to explore and find the best ways that work for you. But in order for you to know that, you need to experiment sometimes and explore different ways and really learn to connect with yourself. That helps you discover what works for you best. Okay. And so I'm just throwing out and giving you certain ideas so you can explore on your own. And so you can do that. And by having that time, because you're listening, you're gaining insight. Because when we are distracted, it's hard for us to listen. It's only when we listen we can learn something, but we don't listen usually, right? So I want you to listen right now. And when you do, you may discover, oh, I see that now. I projected that onto this person or that person. That person, I wanted that person or that friend or the teacher or the stranger to be the father that I never had, or the mother that I never had, is what is coming up. Okay, so that's why we start to project, we start to judge and hate that person or the situation. It had nothing to do with the person or the situation, or it was all just a projection. And sometimes, and a lot of the times, we um, tend to perceive projection as something negative. And it usually is, in a sense that it doesn't really serve us or help us. And we need to take notice of that in that sense. But something that I want to introduce you is that we don't want to see anything from that duality consciousness anymore. Everything is neutral. Projection also serves the purpose. That doesn't mean we need to continue to project. But just that by having the perspective, we are not going to get scared by certain emotions. We are not going to blame ourselves or guilt trip ourselves or hate ourselves for projecting something, because that could still take place unknowingly, because there are a lot of deeper layers to the energetic levels or the trauma or the karma. Okay. And in order for us to deep dive and heal those aspects or little debris left, that we need to really like pick it out one by one, tiny dust. Okay, I see that. Pulling that out, like it's really micro dust, right? It could be small as that, but we need the source and the Gaia and the universe one is helping us to remove those little pieces right now. Okay, so to flow with that energy, we need to perceive everything from a neutral perspective, meaning projection is a tool. But just that when you notice it, you discern that it's not something that you want to do. Okay. And when we are a child, we projected, we daydreamed. It's like, and we go into comparison. How come I'm born into this family? I hate my family. I hate my parents. How come I don't have a father in my life? Or how come I don't have mother in my life, while all my classmates have their mother and father? Okay, for example, right? How come I have siblings that we do not get along? While my friends, they have siblings that they get along and they are just best friends. I don't have that in my life. Okay? How come I'm always like this when others are like that? So this comparison starts as a child when we feel like we are not being nurtured or loved unconditionally. We are constantly hungry and are thirsty for everyone else around us, because we learn to project to what? Be the mother that I never had and be the father that I never had. So with this idea, we develop these thoughts and beliefs about supposed to, right? They're supposed to be like this. They're supposed to be like that, but they're not that. So you start to hate, judge, okay? And how come the situation is like this? So that's where we go into extreme ego that's leading into narcissism. Narcissism meaning when they don't cater to my needs, what? I play temper tantrum, right? Just like a little kid. But as an adult, you can still do that when we are in an extreme narcissistic behavior. And you start to do a lot of different tactics like gaslighting, right, and all of that. And also love bombing is one of them, because you want attention. So it's all about having everyone else's attention on you. And especially if you like the person, you want to have or possess or own the person. So it's not about giving and receiving love. It's about controlling and pleasing and possessing. Okay, so there's a healthy dose of connection and loyalty and possessiveness, right? Relating to the idea of loyalty and integrity and honesty. But what I mean is that it's out of balance. So you may extremely find yourself pleasing to everyone else, or to a particular person that you want to win over, you love bomb those people, complimenting them, right? Worshiping them. It's not healthy because it's not balanced. And on the subconscious level, what we're trying to do is we are trying to win over the unavailable. The idea of conquering someone or something that is being deeply rooted from our ancestor karma, ancestor trauma, in survival. So if you find yourself chasing after unavailable, meaning you may be in friendships or relationship or someone who's not reciprocating or responding to you, or you feel rejected, it makes you work harder to win their favor or win them over, meaning have their attention on you is the end goal, right? You need to review all of that. It's all coming from not being loved, not being heard, not being seen. They were supposed to be the mother that the mother supposed to look like. They were supposed to be the father that they look like, which is representing the divine masculine energy, divine feminine energy. Okay? Divine masculine energy. You need to feel safe, secure within, knowing and trusting that you're always protected, guided, and loved by the universe, by the source. Okay? You are allowing yourself to receive love and to allow yourself to listen to yourself, nurture your inner emotions, inner feelings as they come without judgment, which is unconditional love, which is very feminine aspect, right? Divine feminine energy within, so that when the union happens within, you start to feel safe within yourself. You become the home to yourself. You don't go out looking for homes everywhere, in every person you meet, in every situation you go into. You're always going to stay a victim, and you are always going to feel like you want to fix the situation so that they cater to your needs, which is leading to tactics of manipulation and all of that, right? Because it's all rooted from that. You just want to feel loved, feel safe for who you are, feel seen and heard for who you are. And we don't need to prove ourselves. And one of the ideas that you want to please or fix someone or overly helping other people is because you want to save them. And on a subconscious level, only then you believe that you're valid, you're useful in this world. Therefore, your existence matters. But the truth is, or simply the key message of this video that the source and the universe wants me to deliver to you, for those of you who resonate and receptive, is you don't need to prove yourself. And we don't need to prove ourselves to receive respect, which is very much something that we need to do in this frequency right now on earth. We need to prove ourselves to be respected. We need to prove ourselves to be loved. That's what we learned. So that on a subconscious level, we believe that we are not good enough just for being who we are. So that is where the healing, all of this is taking place. And I'm constantly reminding you right now, you are who you are, and that is good enough. And that is enough. You are secure within yourself. And you don't need to try to fix anyone. You don't need to try to prove to anyone. So for example, you don't need to have success or reputation to feel like you can tell other people, I'm this worthy. That was the old way of surviving. But simply, we are going into the age of Aquarius, the age of the spirit, the light, that darkness we are moving out of. So at the spirituality, we need to connect with who we are, the spirit that is the essence of who we really are right now. And in spirit, that is who we really are. There's no need to prove. You are exactly where you need to be in every moment. Why? Because everything works for you. You don't need to try so hard. You can flow in ease. That's where we are moving to, a state of ease, where you flow and move through energies. And to do that, we need to balance the divine feminine and the divine masculine energies within, the mother wound, the father wound within. There's no supposed to. So what do you do now? You provide, you gain insights from your self-talk, right? Oh, I'm having this talk. I'm hating the situation. I'm hating that person. I'm judging that person because I'm telling myself they're supposed to say that. They're supposed to do that. They're supposed to behave this way. Constant expectations creating codependency, right? And now I see that, recognize that now I'm going to provide that to myself, which is the healing journey. Okay? I nurture myself. I become the mother that I never had. I become the father that I never had. I become the unconditional love that I never felt like I received. Right? And it is all possible because you are source. In essence, you're connected to source all the time. You are the unconditional love. But we are here to experience duality. That's why we are integrating into union within, right? So you come to that center within and then provide that, and you start with the energy of words. Words are spells, right? So you start putting magic to yourself, not curses. You see, you have the choice. You used to put curses on yourself. I hate myself. I don't like those people. They don't make me feel blah. And you don't do that to me. Blah, blaming, complaining, right? And you get out of that energy and start to put magic on yourself, saying, I accept them for who they are. I accept myself for who I am. I turn my energy inward. That's where you draw your power to your center, right? Loving yourself, nurturing yourself. That's the self-care. That's the self-nurture. That's self-love, so-called, in language terms that we use right now, right? It's not about going on spa retreat, which we see as self-care, which is sometimes we need, meaning you need to take time for yourself and provide what you need. But it's not just about buying something, but true self-love and self-nurture is listening to your feelings so that you can provide what you feel lack within in that moment. Okay? If you feel scared, you can tell yourself, it is okay, you are safe. I trust you. And you could use this on a practical level. Something that you can experience, you can practice is that you can call your name. Okay, so for example, Sidney, I love you. Sidney, I love you unconditionally. Sidney, I hear you. Sidney, I see you. Sidney, you are lovable. Sidney, you are worthy of being loved. Sidney, you are healed. Sidney, you are whole. Sidney, you are courageous. Sidney, you are unconditional love. Okay, so I want you to specifically, intentionally direct the energy towards yourself, calling your name. You're intentionally directing the energy, right? Sidney, I see you, right? You are worthy of all this abundance. And if you feel unloved, I love you. I am here for you. Okay, so that is something that you can do. Because when we are in another aspect is if you have a lot of Aries signs in your chart, especially what is coming up, you could be overly independent, which means it's a protective mechanism, but actually it's not real independence. It's more of you being afraid of being controlled by the outside. So you act as if you can handle everything on your own. Okay? But that's not the idea of true independence from what I'm getting. Okay? The idea of independence of the union within, standing still and safe and secure within, so you can connect with other people and give and receive love, meaning there's no attachment expectations attached to that. There's no need for you. You're not pressuring yourself to prove yourself. So the reason why we're all doing this clearing up is from 111, the new energies starting, and with that new cycle beginning, we are going to have a lot of different relationships, situations, because you now hold different frequencies. We've been stabilizing that since September is what I'm getting, going through this, even though you didn't see anything on a physical level, nothing really changed much, but it's going to from the 111 from onwards. That's what I'm getting right now, so that we prepare ourselves and we don't repeat. We don't have to go through the lesson. And when these people come in, that is in match to your new frequencies. But we are still going to learn new lessons and go through certain experiences, but it's going to be very different, is what I'm hearing. Okay. And so, once again, believing is seeing right now. Seeing isn't believing. So we need to develop faith once again. And we need to remove this idea of chronological timeline, which we are governed by very much right now, which is creating a lot of frustration and impatience when we don't see something. Oh, someone told me so and so by the end of this year, I'm going to have this, but I don't. Where is this? And you start to lose faith and start trusting. Okay. Or am I really valid? Am I really worthy of having this? The fear is going to be, we are removing that, for example, right? So we are working through all these energies right now so that you could form relationships, partnerships, or different lifestyles in a better balanced state, healthier state, harmonized state. That is what is coming. And these are taking place for Gaia ascension as well, because we need to bring these souls into union, the soul tribes merging, soulmates merging, right, in order to further whole love and light. So as the earth, the Gaia, is rising its frequencies, we have enough critical mass to hold that vibration. Okay, so that is what is coming up, is very, very important right now. So there will be a lot of soulmate relationships. It could be romantic, platonic, or business relationships. However, it's all in the higher frequency that we need to come together. So just because you don't see this on a physical level, the source is telling us to not lose faith. Stay trusting, because the energies are real. Just because we don't see it in the physicality doesn't mean it's not happening. Okay, so stop overthinking, stop overanalyzing, just tune in, ground your energy, stay present, and let go of this idea of chronological time, because usually the fear is created out of psychological time and chronological time. This idea of time, fear of missing out is where this is driving from, right? I don't have the time. I'm already 30. I'm already 40. I'm already 50. I'm already this. Already New Year. I haven't done anything much. This idea is creating fear, fear of missing out. So you don't want to get caught up into that as well. Allow yourself to stay present. Whatever emotions come up, have the time alone to connect with yourself, and then review your self-talk, gain insights, and then provide what you need instead of seeking it from the outside. And when that happens, you're letting go automatically because you've been holding on for other people to provide the love, the attention, the recognition, the validation. Okay? Simply, you want to, when the moment you give those to yourself by recognizing what you've been doing, is a time that you are letting go of that automatically. Okay, so this is what is coming up. And specifically, they want you to use a lot of frequency sounds like sound healing. And I'm playing in the background for you to get supported. Is the 417 hertz healing that you can also utilize if you're drawn to. And another music, specific music that came up was the love theme. It's an original soundtrack from the Italian movie named Cinema Paradiso. So Ennio Morricone is the composer of this music, and this music came up when you listen to it. It may help you tap into your trauma or the past emotional energies. And it could be different for anybody, but it could make you feel sad or nostalgic or some sort of emotions in your heart center, your heart chakra, that is helping you to tap into the area so you can purge that out. And if you feel like crying, allow yourself to cry, because crying is a form of moving through energies. Okay? It's the very watery flow. When you do that, every time you cry, what happens is the energies, the trauma stored in your body is being released. So what's also taking place is going to heal your nervous system as well. Okay? That is what is coming up. And another music that came up specifically, actually this came up on a specific date on the full moon in Aries, where the energy started to rise. With the specific pianist. He's a Korean pianist, very young, about 19, 20 years old, named Yoon Lim. And a Beethoven music. I'm going to put the link down below in the description box. For all of this music, the love theme and this Beethoven music by him, played by him, specifically because he holds very pure frequencies. Okay, so from the moon, from the source, that particular music from that particular person came specifically to me as a message for me to share. So I'm gonna put those music, and when you listen to it, it's going to really go into your energy body because of the frequencies, and then it's going to help you purge out, because you're going to feel sad or depressed or something that you may have to feel uncomfortable. But as those feelings arise, what I want you to do with this music or these frequencies is to face them and honor them and thank them. Best way is to thank them. Thank you for allowing me to feel these emotions so I can purge them out. Okay? Thank you for supporting me this way. And so whatever that is, the anger or the frustration, because when you don't feel seen or heard, you hold a lot of anger and frustration within yourself, right? Or you always had to need to prove yourself to be loved. You developed, pleasing tendencies, which is anchoring down as insecurities that is causing you anxieties when you can't control other people's perceptions or how they behave, or they don't have the attention on you. You're constantly going to try different things to have their attention, which is very tiring. So I want to release all this anxiety, stress, and worries, okay? And release this energy of depression. Because in 2020, 2021, 2022 were a very pivotal time for a lot of souls who had been avoiding doing the inner work to have the chance to purge out, where a lot of people in the collective start to feel depressed or feel some sort of numbness, so some sort of dissatisfaction, and a lot of emotional triggers, something happening in their job and in their relationships. That was all taking place in the collective from what I saw and from what I see right now. And that was the opportunity for them to tap into their energies of repression so that, they will start to get the energy flow in order to rise up, or the clear or balance out their chakras, meaning balance out their energy field to rise up in frequencies. But a lot of people, once they got diagnosed, is what is coming up. They went to psychologists, they went to a clinic or something like that, and they were diagnosed. Okay, you're depressed, you have anxiety issues, you have mental health issues. So something that has been coming up for me to share at this time is that a lot of these names are labels, is what is coming up. And that I don't want you to buy into these labels anymore, because you have the ability to heal anything. And for most of my life, I had to deal with feelings of depression, unknown feelings of depression. That's why I was so into understanding people's psyche, and I minored in psychology in university. And I know how that really feels like, and how that energy really feels like. It's just very unknown feelings of deep depression. Okay. And that is the moment that you're ready, or you are given the opportunity to move your energy around. Okay. And what I saw was a lot of people stop because of these labels, or because of feeling relieved after someone hearing them. And it was, in a way, a quick fix for them, and that they went back to their work, they went back to their stressful life, wanting to accumulate more money, buy one more houses or whatever. I'm not saying that these things are not important, but just that we also need to balance, and learn to balance how to nurture and care for ourselves as the frequencies are rising. Okay. And so we don't overwork ourselves or exhaust to a point where we are out of balance. And so what happened was, it was a kick, like they put a bandage. Okay, I feel a lot better after 3 months or 4 months of therapy. And they went to their old ways, and nothing really changed much. And that's what happened for a lot of souls and starseeds in the collective that are still in that sleep state. And because of this, we need to hold our frequencies for these souls as well. We need to stay in balance. We need to stay in love and light. We need to stay in neutrality, okay? So that we can support them as well in different ways. And when someone says you're mentally ill, or you have anxiety issues, or you have this and that, what we are subconsciously taking on is that I have problems. meaning I identify myself as a problem, like a problem child. I have a lot of issues that I need to resolve, issues that I need to fix. I am sick. I'm not well, right? I don't like this feeling. Why is this happening to me? So these are not helping because we are putting, once again, curses on us with the words that we say. We're not putting magic on ourselves where I am feeling whole, I am healthy, I am complete. Even when you don't feel so, even when you're going through some sort of physical healing, you want to train your mind to see yourself, meaning shift your frequency so that the physical frequency also matched to that of your mind, right? Directing it. Because every cell, every organ is in vibration. They're very much alive, listening to you all the time, right? So that they move in different ways, vibrate in a different way, and it heals the cell. So once the energy is removed, certain parts of the physical pain is also going to be removed as well. And I experienced this many times as I was going through a lot of different changes that are pretty intense. Okay. So that is for real. And that there's nothing that you cannot heal or cure. But the key is not outside the cure, or not, it's not outside of you, but the cure is inside the pain. So the cure is not outside the pain, the cure is inside the pain. That's why we need to look into these emotions that we separate as I already moved on, I don't want to deal with this, or I hate this, I'm already done with that person or the situation. Why am I feeling this way? No, I'm not gonna feel it, I'm not gonna deal with it. Just allow, because there's a key message. Okay, there's that cure within that energy or the feelings or the emotions that are coming up. Okay, so that there's nothing you can handle, there's nothing you can cure. Everything can happen if you put magic onto you rather than curses with your words, with your thoughts. Okay. And then also you need to back that up with your behaviors, your actions, because actions are movements and movements are energies. So if you want to, for example, take care of your body, you also need to regularly exercise, move your body, right? Train your body to have muscles, strengthen your muscles, stretch, and all of those things. It's all in mind, body, and spirit in alignment that we need to do this in order to embody these rising frequencies. And that is also relating to the idea of power that we are going to heavily deal with in the 2024. Okay, that is pivotal because we are going to move into the Pluto in Aquarius, which is the energy of the age of Aquarius, that I'm going to share once again in different themes that is coming up, which is more larger in a higher perspective. Okay, so with this video, I hope this helped you deal with some of the feelings of insecurities and shed some guiding light on where you are. So just know that you're always where you need to be, even if you feel uncomfortable, feel unseen, unheard, unloved. It is you who can turn this around. So when you say, I'm not being heard, they're supposed to give me this. Now you're going to shift and create magic on your own that is available. Say, I am whole. I love myself. I'm worthy of receiving love, right? And then I nurture myself. I provide this attention to myself, okay? That is something that everyone can do. And even though it may take a while, you don't want to get consumed by the idea of psychological or the chronological idea of time that is going to create fear, that is going to create frustration and impatience because of the fear of missing out, or that ego wanting to have an outcome, being impatient. You want to stay in faith, in trust, and believe yourself that you are always in the right place at the right time. Whatever choice you make, you needed to make that choice based on whatever information that you had. You are doing your best all the time, okay? But just that doing your best can look different once you shift your frequency, shift your mindset, shift your behaviors, okay? And you're going to feel less in stress because you're going to move through ease. Everything happens easily and effortlessly. When you stop controlling everything, we're wanting to control, meaning wanting to know the future, predict everyone, what's going to happen with everybody else so that you can win, right? Once you let go of all of that, you're simply flowing with your magic at ease, okay? Okay, so simply I'm intuitively being guided to give this light codes transmission right now as I'm speaking. So simply you can trust and believe and receive, and you can focus your attention on the movement of my hands right now and receive these codes and allow these codes to work on its own. Then it is done so. Boom. Okay. I'm transmuting any of the lower vibrational energies in your energy body right now to help you feel a little bit lifted up. Kukua kikiaka o kukua ia kikiaka kukua ka o kakikiaka o kukua kiaka kukua ka o kakakai kakia ia i kukua kia kikia ia wa ia kakao kukua ia kakawa. I'm bringing the energy of unconditional love from Gaia. Wakikia ia kakao, kukua kikia ia kakao, kukua ia kakao, kukua wawa ia kikia, kukua ia, uwa. You're loved unconditionally. Believe in it, trust it, okay? You are worthy just for existing. There's no need for you to prove and to feel useful to matter in this world. You can do anything. You can go through anything. You can heal through anything. Trust in the power of yourself. Healing your solar plexus. Okay. I'm balancing out your root, sacral, solar plexus, that of the upper chakras. Huakia kikia ukuaka kikia ka ukukuai kikia ka ukukuai kakai kikia kuai kikia kukuai kikia kukua kakakau kikia. So you can feel comfortable and feel safe to express, assert yourself authentically, and that your throat chakra is open, your heart is open, your third eye is going to open so the crown can be opened up. Wakikia ukakaka ukakuai ia uai kikia kukuai ya kukuakakuai wawai ya ukukuaki ya kuai kikia kuai ya uai ya kakau kukua kuau. So one of the mudra, this is a mudra. Everything is connected to the energy. So when you put the hands together, where you usually say namaste, simply means I honor your soul the way, and I see the soul that you are honoring me. So it's a reflection, right? And then it's the bringing of the union within. Your dominant hand being the divine masculine, less dominant one being the divine feminine energy. When you put them together, you bring union within yourself and you put into your heart center this way. This is also something that you can do on a practical level, and start to breathe in deep, in and out. You put in the air into the bottom of your stomach or your lower stomach area. Expand it. As you release it, you want to push the energy up and release. And you want to continue to do so, and you want to use your magic, meaning your words, mantra or affirmation. Say, I receive love and I release these feelings of unloved and blaming habit or something like that, okay? What you wish to embody, you breathe in, you exhale and release what you want to release and let go of that no longer serve you in union, okay? All right, so I hope this helps you, and Happy New Year, everyone. And I'll see you in my next video, guys. Bye.